What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Let Me Finish. This is your boy Dom.
This is your boy Greg,
And this is your boy Tone.
and we're back.
We're back. This is the season finale of our podcast. If you've been with us since the beginning, thank you so fucking much.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for your feedback. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for your silly comments. We've enjoyed it.
Yeah. And this is episode 20. Can you guys believe we've done 20 episodes?
I can actually.
I was thinking maybe we'll get to 15 or 10, but man, we made it all the way to 20.
Yeah, I'm also excited too because I think initially when we started this, I think we talked about doing 12 as the first season, but I guess we just kept going, and then we finally decided a stopping point for season 1. So I think 20 is a solid number. That's a solid number where we got some experience, good talking points, and we kind of have a better feel of what we're doing now. So I think it's a good place.
Yeah, it's been a journey for sure, but a fun one.
And it's so crazy because our first episode was posted February the 19th.
Wow.
Wow.
February 19th? That
February
seems like forever
19th.
ago. That's when I still thought I was going to do all my New Year's resolutions. But TBD, I'm pushing them back to 2024 now.
Okay, that's fair. Most people do anyways.
Yeah, as long as you get something off your list, one thing, then I guess that's a win.
Well, guess what? I'm getting a new car, so...
Hey,
Was that on your list?
no.
No, it wasn't on my list. That was a late in the year
Well,
ad.
we'll wait until the New Year's Eve episode.
Ooh.
Oh, that'd be fun actually. Yeah.
That would be fun.
And we'll talk about because we still have a few more months left before the end of the year, so you maybe still can hit those resolutions you had.
Yeah,
I got a
that'll be like the year-end recap episode. We just talk about our year,
Yeah,
which I think would be interesting to recap on.
that'd be exciting.
Would we like count down from 10? Are you saying like New Year's Eve?
No,
Oh, okay.
absolutely not.
Yeah, we'll be at parties because
Yes,
we're social beings.
right.
I might be right here on the couch.
I'm gonna be home.
Well, I guess we'll see where we'll all end up on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
But how's you guys' week been? What's been going on?
Well, I am fresh back in Dallas. I'm a smooth 22 hours back in Dallas from working in Lubbock, Texas on a work trip. And I'm just going to say I'm happy to be back. Lubbock is a small town 5 hours northwest of Dallas.
Jeez.
And it's just a big suburb. That's all it is. And I worked all week and nothing else to do there, nobody to talk to. But I'm just glad to be back home in my routine. And one quick thing about me when I travel is I'm very much regimented in my routine with like diet, food, gym, stuff like that. When I'm on the road, I eat like shit. And I ate like crap all week.
Agreed, hard. You think that you're going to go on this work trip and you're going to be like, I'm going to be a better version of myself. I'm all alone. I have no distractions, right?
Yep,
I can hit
yep.
the hotel gym.
I said all that.
I got a per diem to actually get healthy ass food.
I'm gonna go to groceries.
Yeah, I'm
and
going to
shit.
get a Whole Food salad for $20 per diem, baby. But no, it doesn't turn out to that. It's like very lowest common denominator. You're like, oh, Jack in the Box is next to the hotel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for me, I think that's kind of expected though. I know that people who I know who travel a lot for work, I don't expect them to eat the healthiest while they're. I think you get a pass. Like you're out of your environment, you're in a different environment.
Yeah.
You know, I would say it's okay to eat terrible.
Yeah,
you know?
because anything that throws a wrench in my like daily routine just kind of always messes up my fitness, always messes up my eating. And so like you being in a completely like foreign terrain location, you're just like comfort food.
Yeah, you're waking up in a hotel, you don't have a fridge, you can't fully cook anything, and then you're limited to the food around you. So I was in this area that just had a bunch of restaurants. That's all they had. And like the first night I was there, I went 0 for 4 on food. Like everything I got was trash the first night.
Damn, how many times did you eat dinner?
Well, no, it was like
I mean, you got $75.
Yeah, that's true.
I got options. Like the breakfast was trash, the lunch was trash, the first dinner was trash. So the first dinner I didn't eat it, so I went and got a second dinner. That was trash. So I literally went 0 for 4 on food day one.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
That is a bummer because that's like the one thing that you can count on is like a meal.
Yeah.
Where were you again?
Lubbock,
Did you say
Lubbock, Texas?
I mean, for someone who's so picky about who doesn't like food at that much,
He went 0 for 4.
Yeah, he's so picky
it sounds
about
like
it.
it's successful. You got food, right?
Right.
I mean, yeah, but like I still want to somewhat moderately enjoy it, and it was just like I got some Chinese food for dinner. I ate like a portion of it because it was all bad. My lunch was this Indian place. It was bad. Didn't taste right. I forgot what I had for breakfast. It was bad. No, breakfast I ate at the hotel, which you never eat hotel breakfast because it's always like fake food.
Oh yeah.
So I started off wrong.
It's like a cheese Danish. I gotta say it's hard to mess up Chinese food. If you get bad Chinese food, then it's on you.
But
Maybe.
it was like one of those Americanized Chinese places,
Yeah.
so I don't really count that as like. Legit.
First of all, I'm not going out of town for a work trip eating Chinese food and Indian food. Like, if I'm there for work, I don't know how that's going to be on my stomach.
You're not wrong. I've eaten Indian food before, like a standing up day long conference, and
That's gross.
That's
lots of trips to the bath.
So a lot of that. But that was my week. I'm back in Dallas and I'm back in my routine. So right now I'm feeling great.
Well, good. We're glad you made it back safely. Greg, what you been up to this week?
Looking for a new car, which is a lot of fun. Been getting to test drive a lot of vehicles. It's a little bit stressful because I thought that I was kind of under the gun to sell my car. Like the Lexus SUV, I've been having so much trouble with it. But ended up that maybe I have a little bit more time, and my sister's gonna buy it for my nephew.
So that's confirmed.
It's confirmed. Yeah, they said that they would meet the, I guess, appraisal price, and I'm gonna give it to him a little bit cheaper.
Yeah,
but,
that's family.
It's fam. So that actually kind of made it that I didn't have to get it this weekend, but it's like, oh, when am I gonna do it?
You still need to get something. Though,
Yeah, I gotta get something, and I was looking at a Night Trail Jeep Grand Cherokee. I drove the Trailhawk.
Yeah.
Why do I always say the same thing?
Because I got one.
Yeah. Okay. So, but you have trouble with it. We talked about it. You might have talked me out of it.
Yeah, but I think it's the trim level for my car is different. It's like a lower end than what you're getting, so yours may be a lot better than mine. If
We'll
you get
see. I always Toyota 4Runners never do me wrong. Like I drove one to the ground, and that's what I was looking for in the beginning. But then I kind of got distracted. I got
You
detoured.
saw something, yeah.
4Runners are solid. Toyota's solid.
Yeah, I'm a stickler for when it comes to car shopping. Like I remember when I went car shopping for my car, before I even went to the dealership, I knew that I either wanted a Mustang or I wanted a Camaro. Yeah. I knew that's what I wanted, and I knew that I wanted to buy new. I didn't want it to buy used.
Really?
So I had to go in, do pros and cons for each one, and then I had to find what model I wanted and what package level of the vehicle that I felt comfortable with going with. And I went to the dealership. I knew exactly what color I wanted.
Really?
There were only 2 dealerships that had the color of my vehicle. So I went to both of them and, went back and forth.
Did you do all this research online, basically? And so you knew exactly when it was time, where to go, and what to do.
And I went to the dealerships at nighttime to see the vehicle, so I wouldn't have to worry about being heckled while being there. Smart. So I went at night because you could just walk onto dealerships and look at cars at nighttime. So I went and looked at it. It was like 10 o'clock at night when I went one night. And just checked out the car and looked at it and was like, okay, I think this is what I want to go with. So once I found the car, then that's when I went during the day. I talked to the salesperson or whatever. I walked out of the dealership 3 times before I purchased my car.
I love that.
Good.
I walked out 3 times.
Yes.
And every time they called me back well, we got this deal. We can do this, because they really wanted to get that sale, but there was certain stuff I wasn't going to budge on.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah, I remember I knew what my credit score was before I even started car shopping. I have really good credit, so I knew what type of interest rate I should be getting
because you
on the
canceled
vehicle.
that American Eagle card.
That's what it was. That's what it was. And I walked in. I was like, hey, this is what the price was online. So what happens is when you see cars online, that's why I went to go see it in person at nighttime. Dealerships will always add additional costs to a vehicle. Yeah. So I remember when I looked at it online, it didn't have rims. It didn't have a spoiler on it. It didn't have, it was 2 other things that were additional on my car that was put on it. And then they were charging extra for it. But online, it had a different price. So I was like, hey, some of this stuff that you put on it, take it off the car. Because that's not what it had online. That's not how it was online.
Got it.
And they were like, well, it's already on the vehicle now. We can't take it off. And I was like, well, I shouldn't have to pay for something. Because you're advertising for something different.
They just want to get you inside the door. I hate car dealerships with the worst place on earth.
Yeah. And a lot of these car dealerships now have no haggle. It's like, we went to CarMax.
Like CarMax. You just go in, this is the price.
This is the price. This is what we're going to give you for your vehicle. which I get, but then I kind of want to haggle. You
No,
know what I'm saying?
I don't believe in the not haggling stuff. Like I'm a haggle. It's not haggling. It's like I want to be able to negotiate. That's what it is.
I don't want to spend 6 hours. I've done this multiple times. I don't want to spend 6 hours in a dealership.
And some people don't. Some people don't. And I don't blame people if I hate. That's why I'm like, hey, I'm gonna give y'all this amount of time. If I can't do what I need y'all to do, I'm gonna leave. They're gonna call you. They're always gonna call you.
But I hate that. Well, let me go speak to my manager. Or,
I know. Yeah, he was like, let me go talk to my finance
And
manager.
then they're looking
see
at
what
you,
we can
looking
do.
at them. You're playing that whole game. I hate.
He came back like 3 times. And he's
I hate
like,
it.
no, you can't do it. We can't do it.
I remember
"Alright, see you later."
calling my dad after, like, they were like, let's go get the manager, and the manager came in there, and my dad was like, just walk out, just leave. And I was like, okay. So I just left. And then they called me the next day and was like, okay, we can get the car for the price you want. Like, just come in and talk to us. So I was like, okay. So I went back. And then I talked to the financing lady who does, like, the interest rates and everything. She tried to play in my face.
Yeah.
She tried to give me, like, a 6% interest rate.
No.
And I was like,
No, man.
absolutely not.
I gotta get
So then
credit.
it came down to 3. And then I finally got it down to, like, 1%.
Great.
Wow.
Maybe I don't know how dealerships work. Maybe we should ask, but I wonder if they have like, does their month end like at the end of the month, or maybe like if you wait till later in August,
That's not.
they're like,
yeah,
we need this
they
car
gotta
sold.
hit quota.
So
yeah.
they might bullshit you a little less and be like, all right, let's get this
Okay.
car sold. So
I bought
maybe
my
that-
car after New Year's. Like, it was, like, around New Year's.
They're
So it
probably
was
at a
like,
sale too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just in my head thinking that I was gonna get it done this weekend. Not gonna happen.
Relax.
So
Yeah,
I
you
need to
got
relax
time.
a little bit.
Yeah.
I did wake up today like I gotta make it happen, but
You're all good.
it's got to be the right fit. It's got to be like you said. Like,
Yeah.
I got to make a really refined search. I think I went into it this weekend like, yeah, I'm open to that.
No.
Oh, I could do that.
No.
You know, and I think that I just need to like get online, find the 2 that I want,
to it.
and then play the dealerships against each other.
Yeah.
and if you go in pre-finance, that's always helpful too.
Put it in there.
Because you
That's what you
always
said.
always have like you already know what your interest rate and everything is going to be on the car, so that's the option you can go with too
Yeah.
if they don't work with you. But yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Thank you for the pep talk.
Of
What about
course.
you? How's your week
How
been?
was your week, Dom?
It's been cool. I mean, it's been a really busy week. Work has been so busy. I'm working longer. I'm in more meetings. It's just just a lot going on. But I don't have much to complain about. I will say that. I had my friend Tammy is in town.
Oh, really?
Shout out to him.
When did you see her? Yeah, shout out to him.
Saw her on Friday. We
Or
hung
Austin.
out. She sent me a text message and he was like, I just want to hang out, just me and you. Let's just hang out. And I was like, okay, cool. Memphis is out of town this weekend and I'm home by myself. Just come over. So she came over Friday after work and she brought me some edibles. So we decided to go to dinner and then we were going to come back and chill, take some edibles and just like have a good night. So we go to this Thai restaurant. We decided we wanted Thai food. We went to this Thai restaurant and I hadn't really ate all day. She hadn't ate all day either. And she was like, let's just order a bunch of food. Let's just try as much as we can. I was like, okay, I'm down. So we ordered like 4 appetizers and then like 2 entrees to share. And the people who were bringing us the food were just like,
Damn.
do y'all have more people coming?
Yeah.
Or
You're like, no, set the food down.
right. And the one waitress lady was like, oh, y'all need help. Y'all need help. And we were like,
We got
just
this.
like,
We got this.
get away from the table. And Tammy, who we call on the podcast Austin, so I hope she doesn't get mad. I put her name out there, but she could understand what they were saying. She was like, they were kind of being rude to us, like,
Wasteful Americans.
right. And then she was just kind of like, we got, our food is we got it pretty spicy. I know mine, I got like a level 3. They go up to 5.
Yeah, you got level 3. Okay.
Yeah, but I always get a level 3. The Thai restaurant me and Memphis go to all the time, I get a level 3 there, and it's not super spicy.
The
But
thing
at
is,
at this particular
It was,
restaurant,
yes.
it was really spicy.
3 is not the same across
Yeah.
different restaurants. for
It's not at
We've learned
all.
that the hard way, I think.
And I definitely learned that. But it was spicy, but it was so good. The food was really good. And it's just the service wasn't that great. And then it was like they kept giving us water, and they was like, "Ooh, it's too spicy for y'all." Like, Don't be condescending. Like, just fill up my water cup and go on about your
So
business.
you will not be returning to this restaurant. I'm assuming.
If I do, I'll be doing takeout.
Okay.
I'll be doing
Yeah,
takeout.
they were sassy.
Yeah, they were really sassy. But, well, I got to spend time with my friend who I don't get to see that often because she's in Austin. But it was good to just spend some one-on-one time and just catch up. And, I think that's definitely needed for those friends you don't see very often.
Yeah, but I thought she's moving back here.
Yeah, next year.
Okay.
They're moving back next year sometime. So, yeah.
And well, that sounds good. I like one-on-one friend time. Often it's hard to get, if you have a bestie that you need to catch up with, it's like get in where you fit in. But it's nice when you can have that solo time to really catch up.
Yeah, it was really, really nice.
Yeah, and then speaking of really, really nice, last night we did celebrate somebody's birthday on the
Yes.
pod who hates birthdays.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that on my list? Did I put birthdays on the list of things that you hate?
Oh,
I
no.
think
Well,
I
no,
took
no.
it off because
It's
you
my
said that
birthday.
you're starting to enjoy it.
No, I'm not. No.
You said not too long ago that you're like, I actually am starting to enjoy celebrating my birthday.
This
Or
must have been like months ago.
But let's review the facts.
All right.
When I met you, you said, I don't even care if you tell me happy birthday. Like, I don't care about birthdays. Like, birthday is not an important day for me. And also, don't expect me to remember your birthday because I just don't care about birthdays. And I was like, bet. Okay, that is the easiest friend to have in the world. Like,
I sound kinda
I'll
harsh.
get you a birthday wish. It might be belated, buddy.
I sound harsh, right?
But last year, you went to Oklahoma and you got a house, right?
Yeah.
That was for your birthday.
Yeah. It wasn't like on my birthday day, but it was a birthday
it was a
trip.
birthday trip.
And
So-
then this year you went to NOLA for your
Yeah.
birthday.
It
And
wasn't
then
really-
yesterday you had a birthday
Hold on,
party.
hold on.
So take it off the list. It remains off the
No,
list.
no. There's more context behind it.
I'll put
still-
parentheses pending.
I still don't like my birthday. So what it is the birthdays for me are always like, you know how we talk about New Year's resolutions and whatnot. So a birthday always triggers a look back into the previous year and where my life is at. And what happens is there's this battle between good, positive, and negative.
Mm-hmm.
The positive is, okay, well, you're better off than where you were last year. You had a better job, better place to live at, your financials are better, etc. But the negative is like, you're still not happy with where I'm at, whether it be like, I don't have as much money as I want. I'm not living where I really want to be, or maybe I should have a house by now. So I battle good and negative, and there's also this, I'm still dealing with the past couple of years, post-therapy, post-breakup. I'm actually still processing a lot of that.
Oh, sure. It takes
And-
time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But this birthday, as it got close, it brought all that stuff back. And I ain't really telling anybody about it, but all those memories and everything that happened the last 2 years with the breakup and friendship fallout that I've talked about in this podcast, I started replaying all that again and again. So it's not that I hate my birthday. It's just for some reason, a birthday triggers like a look back of a year in review, I guess.
Listen, I get that, but you have every day or month of the year to be thinking like that. Birthdays is a celebration of how far you've come. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? You got to rock that shit.
Yeah, so that's what I try to do. So there's a valid attempt. Like, I'm aware of how stupid it is to replay all that, but it happens. So in my mind, I'm sitting there being like, okay, yeah, that person you dated, that relationship, all that shit that happened, the fallout, it happened. I thought you already learned from it, but apparently I didn't fully learn from it. In my mind, I'm like, well, everything else is so much better. You're past that. But for some reason, my brain has to go through that. So literally what was great about last night was for me the official, your birthday's over. That's kind of why I cut my hair. It was like, all right.
Oh, yeah. For listeners.
Oh, yeah, because I've had 4 different hairstyles in the last 2 months.
Yeah. He's been bleaching it, which it looks good. It looks fire. So walk us through this like rebirth that you're having here, because
It is a rebirth.
he is bald head. It
Yeah.
looks great on him. He's still got the beard. Yeah.
The
So
beard's going to stay.
It was very shocking.
it was very shocking.
Yeah, 'cause
I don't think I've ever seen you bald. I think that's why it kind of caught me off guard.
I've been bald before, but it was before I met I haven't been bald since I met all of you. as
Okay.
friends.
I think when I first met you, you were
Yeah, that
bald.
was one time I did.
Oh,
Yeah. okay.
That's when I think I just knew Greg and I didn't know you.
Because you had
Daryl.
gauges in your ear too, right?
I had the bigger gauges.
You had gauges too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a whole different
Wow.
look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Who
have
is this
saved them.
This alternative Antonio?
Antonio?
It was like alternative Antonio. It was like mountain biker Antonio.
I still have a not finding by anyone. Antonio is an ever evolving human being, which is why it's hard for me to date because I changed too much. But
I stand.
but real quick, the cutting off the hair yesterday, I literally got back from my work trip in Lubbock, and I'm sitting there like, all right, you're back home now. this is this birthday party or whatever. The birthday party for me was symbolic of, okay, now I can put an end to my birthday. Now this is the next year. This is that next year that, look how much improved you were from last year to now. Now starts that next phase. So the haircut was like, let's just start clean.
Hard agree. I mean, around my birthday time is when I got rid of the beard and I just did mustache.
I didn't know that was around your birthday.
And it was like just a different look, a fresh feel. It was one less thing to worry about, because I was
Yeah.
always putting oils and combing my beard.
Doing,
and
yeah,
throughout the
maintenance.
day, I was just like, oh, my
Hair
beard looks
maintenance.
good, So
Yeah.
just to like let go of that one thing and like start fresh, hard agree.
Yeah. So that's why I'm happy that last night. I had a great time last night. I'm glad everybody came. I had a good time, but now it's like I woke up today. I'm like back at the gym. I had a smoothie this morning.
I'm like, I'm sick of y'all's bullshit.
No,
The party made you like really reassess everything.
no, not the party. The party was great. The party, I needed that. I felt very grateful that everybody was there to hang out because I'm not one that tries to bring attention to myself. So it is nice when people come together for you and as a group, and that's just kind of nice. So
It was fun.
So I
Yeah,
appreciate- I
it was
appreciate
a very eclectic group of people.
It was.
Yeah, actually,
we met some new people,
Yeah,
huh?
Chris, there's two Chris's, but my other friend Chris, who not the Chris that I'm, whatever with. The other Chris, he was like,
Roll that back. Edit that part out.
But my other friend Chris, he was like, yeah, you have a very he used that exact word, eclectic group of friends. Like everybody's like different and diverse, and he was like, that's kind of cool, because so many times, this is not every gay group, but so many times you see gay groups where people look alike, where everybody's either the same color, they dress the same, they're all the same shape, size. That's not every group of gay friends, but a lot of gay groups tend to blend
Yeah,
together.
they flock together, right?
Yeah, but I feel like we're all our own people. We have our own personality.
We definitely
style,
are
but we all
different.
still gel. And,
Right.
We've had our issues, but we've gotten past it.
We got lots of issues.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
But,
the only thing that we all share is we all have Drew Brand hats, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't wear one anymore. Oh, I have two. I think I got rid of most of them, to be honest.
I told myself I'm going to start buying Detroit hats.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Just
For
because
D?
for D.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I like
I can
the
buy
cool.
A hats or T hats.
A hats.
Atlanta. I mean, I already got a couple Atlanta hats and some T hats for Tom.
Are there any G hats? Green Bay?
Yeah, the
Who are you
Packers.
talking
It's a P, right?
Is it what?
Isn't a P? Isn't like a Packers? It's like a P or
No,
it's a G. It is a G.
Yeah.
Okay, that was.
But you can find a better G than the green. I don't like that logo.
Yeah.
It's not
Green's
good.
not good at me. And
It's not
speaking
good.
of, we're about to start fantasy football, right?
We are about to start fantasy football back. I'm gonna probably we have 20 days until the season starts. That's what Yahoo told me. So I have so we have 20 days to do a draft. So I'm thinking if not this week, then sometime next week.
Let's go. Yeah, I need to
Set
change
the
my
draft.
team name. Too much bad juju. I'm rebranding. I'm going from the Redskins to the Commanders. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm auto drafting.
You're just gonna straight auto draft this year?
Didn't you do that last year?
No,
Oh.
I like
He
the
like
research.
he
I
picked
like
all
really.
the cute people. Remember?
How'd that work out?
I mean,
The auto draft might be better for you.
yeah, I think I'm gonna auto draft this time.
So this is our last episode to end the season, and we're gonna do something a little fun. I think we're just gonna go back through all of our episodes and just talk about some of our favorite moments and what we remember for each of those episodes. And you guys can engage as well. Let us know either on Twitter or email us what your favorite moments were for this first season. So Antonio, what was the first episode?
Right. The very first episode, we didn't really. Okay, it didn't have a title. The title of the first episode was just "Let Me Finish."
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I went back. Actually, I went back and listened to some of the old episodes just to kind of recap and try to remember what we talked
Oh,
about.
you did? That's fun.
Yeah. I was driving 5 hours.
Yeah.
It was nothing but dirt and.
I might do that
grass.
during the hiatus. I miss
Yeah.
our voices.
Yeah. By the way, the audio in the first episode was terrible, but it got a lot better just after episode 1. So.
Yeah.
But
and-
just not the last episode.
right.
Yeah, that was a different situation. Yeah.
Season 2, better production quality. We'll tell you that much.
We're upgrading. But the episode 1, it was just what we did initially when we first started. We didn't have a true format how we did this, but we all just had our own individual topics.
Yeah, we were supposed to bring 3 topics to the
Yes.
table, right?
Yep.
And then we realized we can't do this all season because we're gonna run out of shit to talk about. So,
This is a lot.
So we listened. We all had different things to talk about. I don't remember everything, but we all had specific things we wanted to talk about, and it was good. But I see how that format would have not worked because we just would have ran out of stuff.
Well, and we didn't get to dive deep. I think like when we
Yeah.
have these full length episodes about one thing,
You really get
like
in
we
depth.
really get to like see a nuanced perspective.
Yeah.
And when we each brought 3 things, and then it's like 9 topics.
Yeah.
And then nobody remembers like, well, they talked about this, rather than just having. This episode was about stress, drama. This episode was about happiness. So I feel like I like our format of a specific topic that we all kind of dive in on and different nuances. So that was the first episode.
And fun fact, that was our most listened to episode,
Really?
which is wild. But only by like 2 listens. Like
Okay, so
the other, it's like 6 or 7 episodes that are right behind it. Besides, it's like two less than the other one. So
it's like we had a number 1 album, and then we like had a
We
song
dropped
with-
off.
we had a
Yeah,
song
we
with
could
some-
never recapture that flame. We Lauryn Hill.
oh my gosh,
Did she ever even drop a second album?
no,
See that? That's not Lauren Hill.
no.
Okay.
But
We keep trying. We're out here.
Yeah.
we're there. The second episode, episode 2, was called "Rate Me," and the just rate.
Right, I know. I'm
Rates,
like,
or whatever.
Whew, yeah.
Hard T.
I
Yeah.
gotta-
Hard T. Rate
Even
me.
though I've heard the other one in bed before, but that's a different story.
Really?
Candle. Y'all remember Candle?
Yeah, what about him?
Oh my goodness.
It was like,
Hard P?
yeah. He verbally, he was like, yeah.
That's a turnoff.
Wow.
It was kind of fun. It was kind of cool.
It was kind of fun. He liked it.
As long as you know a limit to that, it was kind of fun actually a little bit. But he wanted to like, I can't say some of the words.
Yeah.
More on the kink episode. Too.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, we
that's
still
season
gotta do
2.
Season 2 the kink
TBD,
episode.
guys.
We're gonna. That's gonna be a fun episode. Anyway, Rate Me was episode 2, and basically I think we started off as rating each other in different things.
Yeah.
And the specific thing I remember we did is we rated each other, like we rated ourselves how we thought each other as what type of friend we
Friends.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we all critiqued each other.
And it was like 1 to 10.
yeah.
What I really remember from it is we were like, we're a Austin 4, a Dallas 6.
yeah.
Yeah. And I remember talking to Daryl afterwards, and I told him what I thought I was, and he was like, no, you're probably a Houston 3.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
He gave a good reason why.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I will say in Lubbock I'm a 10.
See? Sometimes those cities, like,
But-
you don't want to go there, but when you're there, you're a 10.
You're 10, but it's still not. It's still Lubbock. I
It's
would
like,
say.
bloop, 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 bloop,
But
bloop,
it's still
bloop.
Lubbock, and yeah, that was not fun.
Yeah. That was a fun episode, though.
Yeah, that
for
was.
sure.
We were kind of getting into the rhythm.
Yeah.
And
It
we
was
had these
fun.
good icebreaker games. The first couple, we did like icebreaker games that
Yeah.
kind of like gave us like structure and purpose because we didn't know what to talk about yet.
We were still ironing out the details and working out the kinks, but
Yes.
yeah. So Rate Me was a good episode, and then let's move on to episode 3, which was called Most Likely, and again, we did a lot of most likely. But
Yeah.
The ones that I remember specifically were like most likely to like become a millionaire. Apparently, you guys, this wasn't a topic, but I'm the most likely to marry a millionaire because of the people I date or whatever.
Oh yeah, you're most likely to find a sugar daddy.
Yeah.
I think I was most likely to be a sugar daddy.
I don't think that was one of the
I
options.
don't think so either. But I
Am I
if you
mean,
wanna-
misremembering things?
But if it
I want to
fits.
put myself out there.
but we
yeah.
agree.
Okay.
If it makes you feel better.
And then I remember we did most likely to move to another state.
Yeah.
that was one. Which
That was Tom.
We're like most likely to have kids, I think.
That
that's
was
one.
you. That was
Or-
definitely Dom.
Yeah, we said you.
Strong domesticity vibes.
You
Oh,
do.
gosh.
You got it. We did most likely
To quit the pod.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think did we say Greg?
Yeah.
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 And
Guess
guess what,
great.
bitch? I'm still standing. I'm still here.
But yes, that was a really fun episode, and that was the last of like the icebreaker type games.
Before we got, a
We
little
wanted to
more-
keep doing it, and honestly, we could bring it back. We just got to think of a good one. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to every episode to think of like a fun, like kind of icebreaker game. It got to be too much.
Yeah, but I think that's why taking a break will be good because we'll have.
Yeah, we
By
need to
the time
start
we get some
brainstorming
ideas.
and shit.
Yeah, which we plan to do, and if you guys want to send any suggestions, we are open arms to them.
We are open to any type of feedback. We won't get our feelings hurt. JK, I'm very sensitive.
So speaking of sensitivity, that brings us into our next episode. Episode 4 was scrolling, which was basically about social media and I think how we interact with it, what we think about it, and all that jazz. And I remember we all had our takes on it. One thing about us as a group is none of us post, to be honest.
No.
None of us post.
None of us post. Dom probably posts the most.
I probably
stories.
post the most, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
That is saying a lot.
That's saying a whole lot.
You know the funny thing? I remember, because I just listened to this one this morning. I remember at the end of the episode, I said, "Hey guys, just make sure I post some of my art and stuff."
Yeah.
And y'all didn't hold me accountable, and I didn't post shit. I still have not posted since that episode.
Oh my
So
gosh.
my last post on my photography page was like still October 2022.
Damn.
I think-
It was recorded in
I
February.
think we all made that pact. We were like,
We
we're
did,
all
yeah.
gonna start
we
posting
ended the
more.
episode with all of our Instagrams open. Like, this is a new beginning for all of us.
And we closed it and said, "All right."
I've reposted some stories.
I haven't seen them.
If
I'm not
any,
even on there.
anything, I'm less engaged with social media since then.
What
I
the-
removed them from my homepage, right, where I have to like search
You
for
have
it.
to
in
like
the
go
app.
to, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
funny how
turn
that-
off the notifications. But it's weird because my friend called me the other day and she was like, "You're so hot right now, and all your pictures are from like 2021. You know, like show the world your
What's
hotness."
2023 Greg at?
Yeah.
But I was thinking about this, and I think at this point, the way I feel like with social media, the only way I'm going to engage at this point is if there's a purpose for it. So let's say we're trying to figure out for season 2 how we're going to navigate, and if we actually start to post, that will probably be the only thing I engage in is like posting for our podcast and maybe for my personal photography page just to get some stuff up. But for me, I don't see myself posting on just some personal, like I'm at the pool hanging out or I'm at my friend's house at a party. That stuff, I don't know why, it just seems so pointless for me to do that. So I would only engage on social media for the purpose of business or advertising something.
You know, and
For
I
me.
think from that episode, we also were like inspired to like take better pictures of each other, you know,
Yes.
because that's how you post. If somebody takes a good picture of you. So I think if anything, I know we're not like big social media users. Let me finish though. We got to step
Oh
that up.
yeah, wait until
Content.
season 2.
Content.
something.
We are going. You're going to get DMs telling you to listen to our podcast. There may be a flyer on
Threads.
your car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
we're
fire
just-
on your car.
Yeah,
On the strip, we're
it's
just gonna,
gonna
Guerrilla
yeah,
marketing,
on the
yeah.
strip.
we're
We're
gonna walk in
gonna.
the strip and put flyers on windows. Yeah.
Yep, we're gonna have T-shirts that with
Branded.
scannable codes on it that says "Listen
Yeah.
to my podcast," so people can scan it. It's gonna be great. So, yeah, what was the next episode?
We are at episode 5. We are a quarter into our season. Appily, I spelled that wrong. Appily, as in apps.
Yeah.
Ever after.
You
Yeah.
spelled that right, right?
No.
Oh,
I put
Apple.
apply.
You
Well, I
put
think
apply, apply ever after.
Apple auto corrected me, so that wasn't my fault. So apply ever.
It-
Appily, ever after. Which that was when we had our first guest.
Yes.
Which is our good friend Daryl.
Yeah.
Daryl.
So shout out Daryl in San Antonio.
Such a fun episode.
Such a fun episode. And that was-
Everybody, we got so many compliments on that episode.
Yeah, because that's when like having one topic for a full episode, we talked about like we got deep in it. We got the
Yeah.
pros, we got the cons, and of course Daryl was the perfect first guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. I mean, if he still lived in Dallas, he'd be on the pod.
Yes,
Let's be
for
real.
sure.
Because he has a lot of insight and good, good insight on topics on many different varieties. So
Yeah,
I really did enjoy his voice.
there were moments where he was like, "Yeah, studies have shown that."
Yeah, I was like,
I was like, wait, we don't talk like that on this podcast. We just like I heard once.
Right.
My friend told me she read an article once and she said
Right.
that.
and that was it.
But yeah, such a memorable. We'll always remember our guests from the first episode or the first season. And
Yeah, we've had some heavy hitters, honestly. We
and-
gotta step up and find some new guests or have
Yeah.
same guests and just different topics, I think. I think
100.
that's the way to go.
100%. So yeah, we're excited.
Also, I think different perspectives from different people, but also I feel like as time progresses, maybe our views on topics may be a little different.
Yeah.
So it'd be good to revisit some things and see how we feel.
And
For
we
sure.
enjoyed that episode so much. We had another guest the next episode.
Well,
Right
also
after.
I wasn't in town.
Yeah,
So.
Tony
Yeah.
wasn't in town.
New job.
This is when they started to try to replace me. By the way.
We were just trying out different people.
Just to see, gives me the female voice. Or whatever.
Yeah.
But the next episode was episode 6, Coming to America with Nancy. and she did an amazing job. I was
Yeah.
nervous about listening without me being there, but I'm like, oh, it was really good. Everybody carried themselves, and Nancy had a great story to tell. So
Okay, so you were like listening and you were like, oh, what if it's like really good?
I was like, I want to hate this. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna
You were
be
like,
bad.
oh, the production quality's
Yeah, I'm
bad.
like, she's gonna be nervous. It's gonna be weird without tone. But no, it was good. And I really enjoyed, because I don't know Nancy as well as you guys know her. I think you worked with her, Dom. That's
Yeah.
yeah. And I know Greg's gotten real cool with her, but I've always had fun when I met her. So it was good to hear her story and just know a little bit more about her.
She
Yeah.
is the funniest person on the planet, and I think it's always gonna be better if we have the three of us with a guest,
Yeah.
Like, definitely felt you missing, but she just sat down and told us about her life. And one thing Nancy's gonna do is give you the raw, unfiltered truth.
Yeah.
She is just honest and hilarious. So a lot of insight, and I think that was I learned a lot from that one.
Yeah. And fun fact, she herself has never listened to that episode.
Never listened to that episode,
Never
but
listened to
sent it
it.
to all her family members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we got all those listens in Africa.
Can y'all bully her into listening?
I tried. She
Yeah.
just doesn't want to hear the sound of her voice.
We
Like,
gotta
she'll
see
listen
which-
to the other episodes, but she was like, that episode, I'm just scared to listen to the sound of my voice.
We gotta
and,
find a way
you
to
know.
just clip in like a 30-second clip of her episode into like a recent episode, and she'd just be listening to it. All of a sudden, it's like, just,
I
Yeah,
know,
it's
boy.
just-
Yeah, she'd be like, that's not that bad.
yeah, and she's like, hey, let me listen. Yeah.
Yeah, but literally every guest has been like, I don't want to hear the sound of my voice.
Yeah.
And we dealt with that. We dealt
Yeah,
with that
at
shit
first,
too.
yeah.
Where I remember one Sunday, it was like one of those Sundays where I was doing laundry and shit. And new episode dropped. And I was like, started listening. And I didn't want to hear the sound of my voice. And then I was like, you know what? Radical acceptance.
Yes.
And then I enjoyed it. I was
good.
like, haha, that was good, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really do much about the sound of your voice. You just
really
have to
can't.
get more comfortable actually
Yeah.
hearing it. And it's just kind of jarring because a lot of people don't hear the sound of their voice
Yeah,
every
Ever.
day.
you hear it coming out of your mouth, but you really can't hear what you sound like until
Yeah.
you hear it back, and it's so weird at first.
And we're putting it out there. We're putting it on the platform, so a lot of people can hear it.
A lot of
So,
people can hear it, but honestly, I listen to my sound of my voice and I'm like, I don't sound like that. But I listen to the sound of y'all's voice on the pod and I'm like, they don't sound like that.
Yeah.
We all sound different.
Yeah. See, one thing I've done a lot is, especially getting these new mics. When I test it out, I do a lot of recording playback because I'm trying to learn how to talk better. And I'm like, now when I listen to other podcasts, I really do listen to try to hear tones and try to say less and less. So I'm trying to work on those little small things with personal voice stuff.
Yeah. And what was the next episode?
Episode 7 was Everything, Everywhere, All Stressed Out at Once, which was, the title was a play on that movie.
Everything
which I
Everywhere All
finally
at
watched.
Once.
That shit was
Yeah.
good. I finally watched it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a trip, right?
Yeah, so,
Um, Yeah, but I think at that point, episode 7, it was about stress. And I think at the time, a lot of us had a lot of personal things going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it was work related because I think I had just started a new job at Comeback, and that job was insanely stressful. Didn't know what was going on. I had no guidance, no training, or half-ass training. So I was work stressed out. And I think Greg,
I was going through shit
Yeah,
because
you
I think
had
that was I think we did all those episodes one in a row. I don't even think we took a week off, and I think
you were consistent early on.
Yeah.
we were a lot more
Yeah.
consistent. So that's what we're going to bring back to
Yes.
season 2 is consistency. And then I think that I had to reschedule because I was like, I can't do it. It was one of those, I can't even remember. Isn't that the funniest thing? It was the most stressful ass thing in the world, and now I can't even remember what it was. It was definitely work related though, and I was like,
Yeah.
I think I got to reschedule. And then we decided to do a podcast just about stress, and it made me feel so much better to talk about. You
Yeah.
know?
To get it out there.
Yeah, and that episode was special because I think we touched on therapy a lot in that episode, and I got to tell my story of why I started my therapy journey. But yeah, that I will always enjoy that episode and how deep we got and how similar we are when it comes to dealing with stress and the steps we took to move forward and to get past those difficult times. So that was a great episode.
It was a great episode, and that's the first time I think I heard "Life Be Lifin'." I think Tone
Yeah.
brought that to the pod. I don't know if that's a thing, but
No, life be life.
I say it all the time now.
It's,
you know,
it's a thing. Life be life.
Yeah.
You just gotta buckle up and deal with it. So life be life.
word.
So that brings us into the next episode, which is pertaining to me personally. This is my last drink.
Oh yeah.
Which the title of that episode, which we talked about, came from. I'm always the guy that's drinking or having fun at an event, party, or bar, and I'm always like, one more drink, or this is my last drink, and I'm leaving. And every time I do that, it's like a curse because somehow 3 more drinks show up. And then,
But you know, when you see that tone, vibes are strong. You
Vibes
know,
are-
Yes.
because
vibes are
he's
good.
very like, no, I'm working out at 5 a.m. in the
Yeah.
morning. But like when it's one more drink tone, you know
Vibes
we're
are
having
good.
fun,
We're having
right?
fun,
Yeah.
Because if I'm not having fun, I'm leaving.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna leave regardless.
I mean, yeah.
But you may not leave as soon.
Right.
You know?
Sometimes it may be 1 a.m. when I get home on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't understand how y'all
don't-
stayed out that long.
No, they were not out to 1 a.m. Y'all left at a respectable time.
Are you talking about here recently?
Yeah,
A few
weeks
that was
ago?
after
Yeah.
our last episode, Bullywed game, right? We
Yeah,
all went and
we
we went to the
yeah.
bar, we went to the strip.
None of that was planned.
Yeah, none of it was planned.
And
so.
I actually kind of left at a respectable time, 5 p.m., you know? And then I come to find out everybody stayed out until like midnight.
No,
Not
me.
everybody. We left around 9 o'clock. I
Yeah,
think.
they left. It was the sun was going down, but it wasn't dark. I remember because y'all came to say bye to me,
Yeah.
and then I kept going, and then I ended up going to another bar and another bar, and then
One more drink tone in full effect.
that was full effect. And when he comes out, he's a fun time. He always gets home safe, but
He's the best time, yeah.
yeah, but he doesn't come out a lot much anymore. But when he comes out,
Once a summer.
He's like once a month, once
Every
a quarter.
couple months.
No,
Yeah,
every
once a
couple
quarter.
yeah, once a quarter.
When was the last time before
1.5
this time?
times.
A couple months ago.
The art festival. But even
I
then,
don't
we
think that
didn't
was-
stay out that.
No,
Me
that-
and you did.
Yeah, y'all do.
Yeah, but that wasn't like a. That
Man, I'm
wasn't-
old. I go home early, I
Yeah,
guess.
you did.
Well, we stayed out late, but that wasn't like a 1 a.m. late thing.
No.
1 a.m. that's a rarity. So
On a school night, no
But
less.
yeah, that was a fun episode. We all talked about going out, and I remember talking about is it going to become a time to where we're too old to go out. I remember having that conversation.
And I think we all said no.
Yeah.
We all said like just take care of your shit
Yeah.
and
Enjoy
you know,
yourself.
once a quarter, stay
But-
out till 1 p.m.
But
1 a.m.
I think one of the benefits of us is what I've noticed is, we're all pretty young and we're getting to live our lives as we want
Pretty
at a
young.
good age.
I mean,
I'm
you're young.
young.
You are.
Somewhat, you
We're youngish. The older you get, you're like, hey,
Yeah.
40's not too old.
It's not that bad. Life is more comfortable. Yes, Dom is like 28.
Right. 32.
He had a perfect hairline still,
Right. Perfect beard.
His-
Oh
his
my
age-
goodness!
his
I
age
had
never
I
receded.
found this long ass gray hair in my
There we
beard.
go. You're becoming a man.
It was in my beard, and I was like, "This has to go immediately."
Welcome to the
You
club.
tweezed that shit out.
You did. It's gonna come back.
I got like a gray patch on my beard.
It was wild. I
Yeah.
was like, "I haven't
I
had any
can't
gray
pull all this
hair,"
shit
and I
out.
just yeah.
Can I make a confession?
Yeah, you dyed.
I've colored my beard a couple times. Not
I
recently.
mean, I know a lot of
Yeah.
but it's
guys
never
who do
like
that.
I mean, it's not like that paint job where it's like yeah, it's just-
obviously fake.
yeah, you would never know because I do it. Okay, it sucks. I found this product. It used to be able to buy it in the store for $10. For some reason, you can't buy it in the store anymore. Now it's $40. But it's
What?
so good though. It works perfectly because you can put it in. It lasts for a couple days. It's,
Yeah.
It looks so natural. You can never tell.
Oh wow, okay.
Damn. Yeah, I experimented with that. The problem is I kind of got the reddish beard.
And that's kind of hard.
I got
to
like
do.
the Travis Kelsey beard.
Yeah.
And I look like him too.
Now you
no. Oh, yeah, I guess I do.
with the cop. Yeah, the cop.
I look more like his older brother.
No, you don't. You went to more travel. Yeah.
And as we get back on track,
I trap people into making them say that I look like Travis Kelsey.
The next episode 9, was Take Me Back, which was our episode about traveling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we talked about experiences we've had traveling, and then we also talked about future plans, how we want to travel, and things like that. And one of my takeaways is none of my travel plans this year actually happened because I had all these Hawaii and Jamaica.
Those are two big trips.
Yeah.
None of them are gonna happen.
Neither of them happened.
Jamaica passed because it was too much money, and then Hawaii is just timing and everything else. And I'm trying to be financially responsible.
Of
for
course.
right now. for
Yeah,
my
it always
future.
comes down to money.
Yeah, so I don't want to spend the money. So, yeah, but I think we talked about previous traveling experiences as well too in that episode.
Yeah.
and before we move on past Antonio's trips that didn't happen, let's
Dom doesn't
let's
make trips.
What,
let's
Dom?
let's
Dom has
un-
something to say.
let's unpack this Jamaica trip, right? Can you give us
we
more
have to?
more information about like
Too much money.
what happened as far as like when people got back
Oh,
and stuff?
You were good on not going to that one, is I think
Right.
the moral of the story.
So I think I talked about it before. The Jamaica trip was for my brother's wedding ceremony. He already got married back in February, and so my family went. My mother, father, my uncle, and his wife went. and my brother's wife, her family's all from Jamaica, so they were all there. And there was some COVID spread that occurred during this trip. My parents didn't get COVID, thankfully, but I think my brother got COVID, and a lot of her family had it. And apparently COVID's back. I'm not going to talk about how I feel about COVID and
Yeah,
whatever,
you
but-
probably.
Let's rewind to episode 18, everyone.
Was it
COVID
18?
doesn't exist.
And I'm going to have to input this sound clip where Antonio
Can you do that for each episode?
And
Would that
Greg.
take too much editing?
and Greg and Antonio both,
I'm not on
both
record
were
saying
that COVID didn't exist anymore.
Okay, roll the tapes, or it
COVID.
didn't happen.
I don't want to expose anybody. while
COVID
I'm
doesn't
traveling,
exist
That's
Oh my gosh.
responsible. It does exist.
anymore. It's
It
not.
does.
No.
It still exists.
COVID is just a code now. It's literally the same thing we've been getting for years.
You're giving Joe
2023.
Biden way too much credit. There's so
The way they talk about COVID, it's a thing, but it's it's not deadly like it was early on. Obviously, our bodies have adapted to it. The shots that we're getting are helping us adapt to it.
which I probably should get a booster.
I'm not, but I think I'm COVID immune. Well, I think I'm immune from
Oh,
getting
God.
sick from it. No, wait, I'm immune from getting. Let me stop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Next
well,
episode.
well,
Season
no.
two. Season
Well,
two.
I
Well,
was
I'm just glad your parents are okay because
Yeah.
you said
Yeah,
they were
yes.
okay. That
No,
was
yeah, I'm glad
That's
everybody-
scary. Parents getting COVID. I don't care like what year it is. That's
Yeah,
still scary.
especially my dad dealing with cancer. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
So I'm glad
yeah.
everybody there was okay, but they're back. So
Prayers for Tone's day.
yeah, but
Yes.
I didn't go because it cost too much money. But there was a COVID out, it was spread and a little sickness, but everybody's okay. Nobody's hospitalized and nobody's on a ventilator because that's not a thing anymore. But that part's not a thing. The hospitalization and all right, next up, can we do the next episode?
yeah,
Okay, well, let's go back to the travel episode. So this year so far, I've been
Dom,
to
you guys.
yeah. We went to Disney
Yeah, I went to Tahoe.
and you went to Tahoe. Yeah,
Yeah, so I've been places. I went to Padre, and I'm going to Mexico for a wedding in 2 weekends.
Greg
'Cause
is
he-
a dual citizen of Mexico.
you know he stay in Mexico.
I don't speak Spanish like it. I would not pass the citizenship. That's
Greg has a family in Mexico, I believe now.
my secret
Yeah,
family,
got a
a hidden
secret.
family.
Keep on know about it.
He knows. He's gonna meet him.
Oh, he's going.
I remember from that episode though, we were like all basically like, yeah, we don't really like to travel too much, and I think having a guest that liked to travel a lot would have been provided like different insight.
Yeah.
because we were just kind of like, we don't like being away from home.
But who would have been
Round
that
Rock.
guest?
Round Rock. 'Cause
Round
he's
Rock.
traveled a lot.
Yeah, he wanted to move to Thailand. That's what his
I
nickname
mean,
was.
he has his episode.
Yeah, but he would also
So-
would have been good for travel.
You're like, he had his moment
He
to
had his
shine.
moment to shine, okay?
He picked his topic.
He'll come back season 2.
But yeah, that was a great episode, and we have more trips coming up towards the end of the year.
Hopefully together.
Going on a cabin trip, and then I'm going to Austin in October at some point. And I got a couple of concerts coming up within the next few months. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun rest of the year. I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
So what was next?
All right. Actually, this was actually one of my favorite episodes. It was What Would Jesus Do? WWJD, and this was featuring Dom's Boo Memphis.
Yeah.
Religion is such a interesting topic for me that I enjoy. The biggest part for me that I enjoyed was getting Memphis's take on religion and like understanding him a little bit more, his upbringing, and why he believes what he believes. Because my thing with religion is I'm not religious, but I enjoy understanding how people operate. Like, why are you the way you are? What makes you tick? So it was really cool hearing his story and how he came up. So that was probably one of my favorite episodes.
That was one where like, as you kind of like podcast, you're like very conscious of what you say, but then sometimes you just sit down and you start talking, and that was one of those where I just walked away and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And then the feedback was like, that was
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
I'm glad you talked about
That's
that.
being gay, man.
Yeah,
Religion,
like
yeah.
I dealt with that a lot growing up. I've
Yeah.
never heard people talk about it like that. So that was one, I wouldn't say important, but it felt like we did something important.
Yeah. I mean, I absolutely love that episode. Not only getting to express my background with religion and my upbringing, but hearing you guys' upbringing with how your families dealt with religion and how often y'all went to church or
Yeah.
what that looked like for everyone. And we all had such a different experience.
Different but same,
but
and then
different but
also
same, yeah.
nuanced in a way where like a lot of people just turn their back entirely on faith,
Mm-hmm.
like people like us, you know, who maybe like grew up in the church. So it was interesting to see like people like Memphis being like, no, I
Yeah.
love Jesus,
Deep-rooted,
but
yeah.
I just don't love his people sometimes, you know?
And he still can't wrap his mind around the whole feet washing thing. I tell y'all,
I can't either,
I
honestly.
thought everybody did that. I just thought.
Wait, Dom,
Mm-hmm.
weren't you saying that like in Walmart somebody asked you if you wanted to go do Bible study?
yes, yeah. I went
That,
to
I thought
Walmart.
immediately, yeah.
What?
I
tell
went
it.
to Walmart this week and I had just picked up a couple of items that we needed. And as I was walking back to my car, this guy looked at me. But he didn't say anything at first, but then he turned back around and he said, "Excuse me." He was like, "You look like a really cool guy. Would you like to go to Bible study with me?" And I was like, kind of caught off guard because nobody has ever asked me that question. Maybe they'll give you a flyer for their church
Right.
or something.
So he
Or
had no paperwork.
nothing.
Nothing.
That's-
Nothing. He was like, "Hey,
Did
would
you
you
get
like
a
to
time
come
and
up-"
a place?
No.
Okay,
I
that
probably
sucks.
didn't let him.
Yeah.
9 p.m. Saturday night.
He was like, "Yeah, would you like to go to Bible study with me?" I was like, "No, thank you. I think I'm okay." He was like, "Okay." And he just kept walking. That was such a weird question, just randomly ask somebody, just
Well-
based on.
How did he look? Like, how was he dressed? Was
How did he
regular
look?
Clothing? Like,
I mean,
Was he
it
cute
was
enough
a-
to go to Bible
He
study
was
with?
a black guy. He had a black T-shirt on and like some khaki pants and some.
He looked like
Regular
he
clothes.
just was about to go
Yeah.
to Bible study.
Probably, I don't know, but
that's
yeah, I got back home and I told Memphis, I was like, "This guy just asked me to go to Bible study," and he was like,
And Memphis was like, I don't like that.
He was like, "What did
like
what
that
did you
shit.
say?" I was like, "Man, I should have asked if I could bring my boyfriend." See
might
how
change it.
The
see
answer
how
would've
he
been
re-
no.
he responded to it. But yeah, that was
So when you
random
told
thing.
that story yesterday, I thought immediately back to the feet washing thing. Because I was like, I wonder if it's a weird like feet washing
like a ritual or
scenario.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, we did feet washing in the church during service. It wasn't like after hours or church after 5 o'clock.
They
It
didn't
was-
go around the neighborhood
No.
washing people's feet to
only-
get them to come
Yeah,
to church.
no.
I'm not washing my
It
neighbor's
was,
feet.
it was even- oh, it was good.
I couldn't look them in the eye again.
I think that traumatized me.
Probably
Probably did.
not one of your kinks, huh?
Nope.
No, I'm not in the feet.
That's a no.
Okay, the next episode, I'll be honest, I have no idea what we talked about because I didn't listen to this one, but it's called Our Favorite Episode.
Yeah, that's
I-
the episode we talked about our favorite things, like our favorite movies.
Oh yeah, that ended up being like one of those that we recorded it, and I was like, I don't even know if that was a good episode. And then I listened to it, and I was like, that was
Ended
kind of
up
fun.
being good,
Yeah.
Because I listened to it in Tahoe, and that was like maybe the first time we did remote, or was the
I think
vacation?
so.
I think the Take Me Back was.
Oh, I don't remember. That's a good.
can't
That's a
remember,
good
yeah.
question. I can't remember.
remember
But that probably was one of them. But yeah, I just remember talking about our favorite movies, our favorite music, some of the artists we liked.
Yeah.
We touched on a lot of that stuff.
Oh yeah, we were in person for that. Yeah, we talked about favorite TV shows,
Our favorite trips.
food, and I think that's when it first came out that
like
Antonio
food.
does not like
That
food.
is what it was.
Yeah, that's where that came out.
Because I couldn't name anything. I was like, I think I said Freebirds, and you're like, Freebirds? And
Yeah. Okay. Nobody.
But I think I did
Nobody
find-
likes Freebirds.
I want to, what?
As their favorite?
No, I mean, it shouldn't be a favorite. Absolutely. That's incorrect.
I have another one. I'm just curious. I want to throw out there. What is your favorite? Sorry, I have a lisp, guys.
Yeah,
Sandwich
speak
spot.
Sandwich spot?
Yeah.
That's actually a good question. I will say by frequency, probably McAllister's, but I wouldn't call it my like favorite because I'll get it to go sometimes and I'm like,
Yeah.
this sandwich is flabby or flat or like something.
You know who has a really good sandwich?
Who?
And I got it 2 days in 1 week.
Subway?
No.
Just
Not that yoga mat bread.
Shit. What is Jersey Mike's?
Oh, it's okay. I will say Jersey Mike has some hard ass bread that like has hurt the roof of my mouth.
I don't think it's hard.
Has cut the roof of my mouth.
It's not hard.
Maybe I got a weak ass roof of my mouth.
You got a weak mouth. Oh, weak mouth.
But Jersey Mike's, there, I got a sub from there, and it was really good. I was like, this
What
is
kind?
so good. It was like a club sub, and they have like this spicy relish that they can put on it. And
That sounds good. I could go for a
jalapenos.
good
It was
sandwich.
really
Right
Jersey
good.
Mike's is a solid sub. They're like my number 2. My number 1 is going to be Potbelly.
Potbelly.
Potbelly's solid.
I've
I
only
had a
been there
bad
once.
experience there. Okay, we don't even have to get into it, but like I was getting it heavy like once a week, and it was just like one of those things where he was mopping with gloves, and then started making my sandwiches with the same gloves.
He didn't
and
wash
like,
his hands.
Yeah, it was
Absolutely
just like
not.
this is I can't ever go back here.
I've got a Panera Bread story like similar to that.
Really?
Speaking of sandwich shops, this was years ago, and it took me years to go back there and eat again. But I lived in Atlanta still. I went there one night. It was kind of late. They're still open, and I remember I ordered my sandwich. I go to the bathroom to do number one.
Okay.
There's somebody-
Very important distinction in
very-
the story.
Very important. There's the reason why I say that. There was somebody doing number two. You thinking nothing of it. He comes out as I'm washing my hands. It's the guy that works there.
Okay.
Thinking nothing of it. So he walks right out. I'm like, okay. Let me just go check and see. So my sandwich has still not been made yet. So I go back up to the counter and I'm kind of watching the guy. I don't know what made me do it, but so they do have sinks in the back of those restaurants where you
Right.
can see them. So he goes back there. He does not go to the sink.
No way.
And he starts making food. And I'm like,
He's all sweaty.
And
He's
I'm
got
like,
toilet paper on his shoe. Like,
so I watched him leave the restroom, come out the stall, flush, and go right to making sandwiches. So I get the manager. I'm like, he didn't wash his hands. I want my money back. And she gave me my money. She gave me a refund, and she made him wash his hands. And I'm like, I can't eat here anymore. So I couldn't eat there for years because every time I thought about Panera Bread, I
You
thought
thought-
about fecal matter.
okay,
Oh
so
my
let's
goodness.
unpack. That might actually tie back to his dysfunction with the chocolate situation.
Yeah.
Like, I think he had Panera
Oh.
bread flashbacks.
I mean, I didn't see anything like fecal matter on any food because I didn't eat anything.
Right.
I think that's a totally separate scenario.
Oh, okay. Podcasting.
That's
Cheaper than therapy.
Yeah, that's a very separate scenario.
But yes, that was a fun episode. And then our next episode, which Antonio has a list of all the episodes in order. And he
I don't
has
remember.
every time we had a guest there, he has it right beside the episode.
Did I miss it?
And our next episode was U-Haulers, and we
That was
actually had a guest.
Donovan. I cannot remember by
yes.
title because I didn't get to listen to that one, but I didn't remember who that was. So Donovan.
Donovan was on
And
that
see,
episode.
that was the first episode that I wasn't a part of, and y'all kind of were like, "Oh yeah, we actually recorded." You showed me a picture of yourself recording, and I felt some type of way about like
Antonio
being in
was-
the dark about this.
there was a
Antonio was
miscommunication.
shady about
Because
that
we
one.
haven't let me finish group chat, so it wasn't even like, okay, we're gonna record. Like it was after the fact. So
No, I
There's a
think we had
miscommunication.
talked about recording without you before we did it.
But we didn't officially tell
We
you.
didn't tell you
So it was
we're
a
actually doing
miscommunication
it.
on our part that we had discussed recording, but then we didn't fully say we're going to
We
record.
wanted it to be a surprise, and I think we actually said that the episode after that one when we all got back together for the pregame.
Oh yeah,
I
okay.
think
So
we-
we already
we-
worked this out.
yeah, we already
Anyways,
worked this
and
out.
And end of story. It was a great episode.
Great
Donovan was
episode.
a great guest, and it was a really interesting topic.
Yes.
which was moving to another city, another state across the country for a new boo.
Which
For
all
love.
resonated because you've not done that, Greg, but me, Dom, and Donovan have all done that.
Yeah.
And it was interesting talking about all our experiences.
And
in
I
a
can't say I
sense-
won't do it again.
I can't.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I would move for love if it was like truly love, and I'm in love with this person. Yeah, let's do it.
But I think what we talked about, if I recall correctly, is my conclusion is that I wouldn't do what I did the way I did it as far as
Oh,
moving.
no. Yeah,
but
yeah.
if you're with someone and you're really truly like, hey, this is the one, and that person has to leave for work, in that situation, yeah, but I'm not picking up being like, bye Dallas, I'm gonna meet this guy I've known for like 5 months like I did. So.
No, definitely not.
Because
Yeah,
that was-
I mean we're older.
Yeah.
The thing is, I've moved for a job at this point, and I've moved for love at this point. But the job's got to be good, and the love's got to be good.
Yeah,
right.
very
It's gotta be
true.
worth it. It's gotta be
And
worth it.
now that I got a house, it's like wherever I'm going, it's
It's
got to be a
different.
bigger house.
Yeah,
you
moving is
know.
harder when you have a house.
Yes.
It's funny because it was like 2 weeks ago. I was randomly laying in bed with Memphis, and I looked at him. It was like 1:00 in the morning or something like that, and I said, "Let's move." And he looks at me. He goes, "What?" And I said, "Let's move." He was like, "Where are we gonna move to?" I said, "Let's go to Colorado."
Colorado.
I just threw a state out there,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, "Absolutely not."
I love that. Thank you, Memphis. We
cannot
got to
take-
keep y'all in Dallas.
You also can't take notes to Colorado.
Neither of y'all can move. If
That
anybody
was-
moves, I gotta move.
And I just threw a random state out there just to see what he says.
I can see y'all doing Colorado, like Denver.
I don't see Colorado.
I mean, the weed is legal.
And you know they call Denver Minver because there's so many hot guys. which,
Really? I didn't know that.
You're not gonna be able to benefit from
I
that.
don't
But
think that's a thing.
yeah, it's a
Really?
thing, Minver.
Minver?
Yeah, because the
Denver,
girl to guy
I've never
ratio,
heard that
yeah.
either.
That doesn't sound right.
But
But
that
I've
was
never been,
a-
so I can't say anything.
But that was a really fun episode.
We
Shout
like
out
it,
to
though.
shout out to Donovan for
Yeah.
sure.
Is Donovan doing? I don't talk to Donovan on a personal, but he's doing pretty good out there.
Yeah. We text each other like last week or something.
Okay.
But yeah, he's still doing good.
I just felt bad. I remember asking him about his job situation. I was like, "Oh, you must have like a limited PTO." He was like, "I don't have a job," and I felt bad about that. I was like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know."
Hey, it'd be like that sometimes.
Right.
Life.
Life is life, and
No, Donovan's always fun, so I hope he's doing well.
No, good vibes, good energy. We love our baby boy Donovan.
For sure.
Best meme sender.
I don't get any, so.
Oh, sorry.
Let's go.
Next topic.
Yeah, it's all good. We're now at episode 14. We're down to the home stretch. Episode 14 was We Have Pride. And apparently everybody thinks I hate pride or something like that from something I said. But
you skipped an episode.
Wait,
damn, my bad. Sorry, episode 13 is the pregame.
The pregame
the
episode.
pregame, and that was before we went to the art fest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a fun one because I think we always we'll have a beer or two while we record. I'll smoke a little bit, but this was we were about to go out, and it was Sunday afternoon. It might have been a 3-day weekend. Was it a 3-day weekend?
It was a 3-day
That was
weekend.
one of my last drink moments.
I just said that, and you said it wasn't.
No, it was. That was it, yeah. I forgot. Yeah, you did say that earlier. Sorry.
Yeah, but that was a fun episode, and I like how confident we were about the whole art festival thing. We all had a budget of
Yours was $200, and I upped mine to $200. We did not leave spending a penny, a dime. We got some business cards. We followed some artists on social media.
Yeah.
I mean, where did we spend our money? On alcohol.
Our budget went towards alcohol.
And that weird water or something Antonio bought.
Yeah, that looked overpriced, but delicious.
It was. And you can tell there was some mom had their kids selling it. The kids didn't know what the fuck the water was.
Yeah.
That's another pet peeve I have.
Yeah, it didn't look very official behind the scenes.
No.
Some of these people be scamming. Oh, I have a business idea that I think at some point I want to do. But
Listen,
Well, yeah,
let's
don't put it on the pod right
Oh
now.
yeah,
it's not
somebody
like
will
a
steal
secret.
it.
It's not nothing new. Something
Maybe we can get some angel investors.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a really fun episode. And then the next episode
is We Have Pride.
Was that with anybody or is that
No,
it's
just
solo.
us.
It's just us.
solo
Yeah.
dolo? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I think we all have you have the reputation for hating pride, but I think it came out that we all kind of had different nuanced opinions on pride and
Yes.
what it meant to be proud and what it meant to I mean, it's well established you hate parades though.
Yeah, absolutely. All praise of any kind.
and drag queens. We found that out during that episode too.
I hate
Yeah.
parades. I do not hate drag queens. Let's use a different word. I'm just not a fan of
Drag shows, and that's
Yes,
okay.
yes,
Yeah.
But put on a hate list anyway because it sounds fun.
Oh my god.
We talked about that too much.
But yeah, that
this
was
season.
that was a fun episode just to talk about how we celebrate pride individually and not going to a parade and stuff like that and what it means to be prideful.
Yeah. Not necessarily having to wear a flag everywhere, but
Yeah.
we are who we are, and I've held hands with guys in public and non-gay places.
Gross. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I've done that. But yeah, just the ways we celebrate pride, and even though I'm not a flag carrying member, I guess in that sense of I need to wear pride logo and everything. I am who I am. I've accepted it, and I like being gay. I don't want to change it, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about personal, looking in the mirror and being able to stand yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that comes with a lot of hard-worn self-acceptance,
Yeah.
work, all
Yeah.
that shit.
Which I think is a lot more work for us because we have to build our characters up a little bit more because of our upbringing. and not having that.
We got to
standard
unlearn
acceptance.
some things,
Yeah.
deprogram, and
Learn to love yourself.
Yep.
Great episode.
Yes. So then we're now in episode 15 with Round Rock, which is Greg's boo. So that was the guest for that episode.
And he's upstairs right
Oh
now.
yeah, he is, but he can't hear us. So shout out Round Rock.
Shout out him.
This episode was By the Way, and we did talk to Kevon. We got his story about his bisexuality, but also his experience in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His experience there, which I found was interesting, and even saying that there's a kind of community there of gay or bi people. So
What a great podcast title.
By the way, and he was pushing for that. That was one of the rare eps that we knew the name before we even sat down and recorded. Usually we use ChatGPT.
Don't put our business out there. They don't need to know all of that.
everybody uses it.
Sorry.
But yeah, great episode. Just talking about what it means, what being bi looks like, and what it looks like in the military, and his experience in the military, and finding out Antonio would not be good to go into the military.
Oh yeah, I would not.
But yeah, that was a great episode for sure.
Yes. And then let's segue to episode 16, which is all about the Benjamins, which is basically about, financial literacy, or just basically our experiences, what we learn, and how we operate financially. And one thing I will say about this episode is, right after this episode is when I had to move again, and I spent like way too much money, like literally like the week after this episode. Mm-hmm. But one thing that just happened recently is
you moved into another apartment.
Well, I did that, but when I got this new job, I kind of reworked my finances, and I kind of figured out what I was doing wasn't quite working the best way. And at first, I was kind of mad at myself, but then also what came with this birthday as a reset. I'm like, you know what? It's not a failure. You tried something, it didn't work. You just got to revamp it a little bit. So I'm kind of revamping my finances for the next year to find the best way to like clear out my debt and like get some things situated. So finance is a big thing I'm into. I'm always listening to like some type of financial podcast.
Yeah.
There's some things I want to pursue in the future, but I got to clear out some debt and get some things moved first. So.
Yeah, that episode was good because I was like, is anybody going to want to listen to this? Like, I don't even want to think about this. Like, I don't even want to look at my, like, balance, my, like, bank statement after a fucking weekend.
But you got to deal with it, though.
Yes, and I think I dealt with it head on in a way that, like, I downloaded the Rocket Money, and I think that's helpful.
Kind of seeing what you're spending.
Yeah, I will say finances right now are a little touch and go because the new car, and I've been putting a lot into the old cars, so financial stress I don't think ever goes away.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Yeah, you just got to make a plan and try to stick to it as much as you can.
But I agree with you, because there are times I hate looking at my balance. I'm like, just look. You got to look at it to know where it's at.
Yep.
So yeah, sometimes I don't want to open up that app.
I cringe every time I have to, like, anytime that I've had to, like, go into my savings.
Yeah.
I just cringe.
Right.
Because it's like, ugh.
That savings is supposed to be like accumulating.
I know, like,
it's supposed to be
just leave it alone. I've done a good job about just leaving stuff alone and just kind of like, So I pat myself on the back, but those times I have had to go in there and grab stuff, I'm just like, oh my gosh.
And that's what it's there for,
Emergency use,
and like, I hate when you're stressed out when you spent something, but then like a week later you don't really think about it in a way that's like, money's money.
Right.
It's gonna come, it's gonna go. Like, be smart about it.
Yes, 100%. That was that was a good episode for sure.
For the next episode, it was episode 17, which was the happier episode. And if I'm correct, I believe we talked about things that make us happy or ways we work on keeping our.
I loved that episode.
I did too. Like,
because it was like, oftentimes we're kind of like talking about negative things in our life and all that. But I think this one we were like, what makes you happy?
What makes you happy, and what does happiness look for you? And that's one thing I liked us talking about that episode, because it gave us an insight of what it looks like. Me doing puzzles. That's what happens.
We yucked your yum on that one. Like,
and it's so weird because now people who listen to the podcast always ask me about it. It's
like,
did you finish your puzzles? Did you?
A lot of
finish
people
your
do
puzzles?
puzzles. Yeah, Louisiana was trying to give you a puzzle.
Yeah, and I will still accept it.
Okay.
Who's Louisiana?
Our loyal listener. He asked a question one time about what like artist would you be if you were an artist?
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Great guy, loyal listener.
Sorry, appreciate it. I don't.
Yeah, shout out to you. That puzzle looks really awesome. That was the one that had like Static Shock.
Oh,
and
yeah.
One.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
was awesome. Yeah, that was good.
And then the next episode, which is we're now at episode 18, we're around the corner, was no. I think we talked about the ability to say no to things, people, and how you deal with it. And for me, it's gotten better. I got bad at it again at one point, but I've gotten better about saying no and protecting my boundaries, is what I take from that episode. I'm still working on to this day. It's always a work in progress.
Yeah, word. I mean, that was a struggle one for me because I realized I just don't say no a lot, So I think like talking about it really kind of made me put the steps in place to like what kind of saying no and like what like saying no looks like and being firm about it, but also being kind,
Yeah,
firm and kind.
Yeah, for me as well. I think I got to talk about how easy it is sometimes for me to say no, but how it was a struggle for me at first, when I was younger and stuff, and maturing and like being comfortable and confident to just be like, no, I'm not going to do this. And letting people know that they have to be okay with it.
Yeah, but also accepting that not everyone may take it well, And that's kind of the thing about it. It won't always be received well, but as long as your boundaries are protected, that's ultimately what matters. And,
Yes.
Working through that.
Word.
Yeah, and then we're at episode 19, which is the last episode before this one.
Wow.
This actually was a really fun one. I was worried that the audio was going to be so bad because we had so many people and different mics. But this is the Bullywag game, which is the previous episode where we had all of our podcast members and their partners, except me.
You're the host.
Yeah, I was the host.
You served a very important role.
Yes.
Which it's funny, I thought I did so bad on it, but listening back, it was actually fun.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, listeners may not, if you don't know us, you may not know who was who, but I think it was still a fun episode. But,
Yes.
We had all our booze, we had a lot of questions, and
Learned a lot.
yeah, and nobody knew the questions beforehand, so it was good for people to learn about each other, things they didn't know. And I think the one thing is Ireland and Dallas. I think Ireland kept saying neither of us for everything. And I'm like, that's not how this game works. You can't be nice. He was being too nice with the answers. I'm like, no, it's either him or you.
He didn't want to play, but he did,
but he
and we
participated.
love him for that. And he
Yeah.
was funny, and so was Dallas.
Yes.
Like that's like the missing link of our crew, and I think that the fact that we all were able to get together and have a recorded episode with
Yeah.
poor quality, but
so
to
we
see how we
apologize
interact, to interact with each other and how we just kind of cut up, like it was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
It
Yes.
felt like a good friends thing. Like we honestly could have never recorded that, but that would have been a fun thing to do just as friends, just for fun, just something silly and not too serious.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, and a shout out to Greg and Round Rock. They actually won
Yep.
by one question, but the next game we play, we're gonna win.
Word. Okay, we'll see. I mean, and I still have some little post-its that with his answers on my fridge.
Oh my gosh!
I have one
So you
that
don't forget.
says doggy, and I have one that says squeezing the toothpaste from the middle.
You have black because his favorite color, and that he wants to buy land, not a truck.
Yeah, I threw those away.
You're pretty insistent on that. I'm like, no, you're gonna buy a truck.
So that was all of our episodes from this season. It's been a long season, but I've enjoyed every moment of it.
Same.
And before we end things off, I'm going to ask you a question that I'm curious about.
Okay.
If you had to pick one thing, what is one thing you want to do differently for next season, or you want to incorporate for next season?
I think for me, I would pick I'm probably the worst in the podcast of like coming up with topic ideas, because I'm just like, I don't care. Yeah, that sounds good, So I think bringing more to the table creatively, I think is what I want to do.
Okay. And
I think I don't want to take over editing, but I want to be more of a contributor to that. So
Okay.
I've talked about wanting to make sure we have like the best possible audio we can have, but also like even for like the format of the podcast, like I don't want to intro a song, but I kind of want something a little more upbeat for like
yeah.
something like that. So I want to do some. I want to help it to like. I want to help it editing to make it a little, spice it up a little bit.
Yes.
Not make it crazy with a bunch of sounds, but just spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, production is something like we were new. This was our first time, so we're gonna bring you improved production quality, like better guests, better topics.
Yeah, the sound's always gonna be immaculate going forward. I promise that.
One thing I would like to incorporate next time is hopefully some video of some sort. Like if we post episodes on YouTube, it doesn't have to be every episode, but just having some episodes where we actually record it and have some interaction that way, whether it's posted on YouTube or TikTok or whatever we decide to do. But I think that would be very interesting to do as well.
For sure. I got a question though.
Sure.
What is the thing that you learn most about yourself from doing this?
I'll
go first.
Oh,
Okay. Do you have it? Do you have an answer?
I mean, I was going to say something.
Okay, go.
Okay. I would say, how people talk about having the drive to do something and having the passion and ideas to actually do something or start a project or something. I think I was kind of stuck in that loop for a long time, saying that I had an idea and I wanted to do something and I just didn't quite know or if it was really going to happen. And one thing I learned about myself is that if I put my mind to it and I actually say that I'm going to do something, then I actually do it. Like with this podcast, I remember sitting by a pool bringing this idea to you guys last summer, and then just seeing what you all thought about it, and if you all would be interested in being a part of it, if I started it, and to know that I actually did research. I actually bought a microphone. I actually set a time that we were going to get together and talk about it, and set a date when we were actually going to record and actually edit it. I've never edited anything before, but I put my mind to it, and I focus on it, and I had the drive to do it. And it's like, if I can do this, and you can do anything.
Kudos to you. You did. You made this happen. It wouldn't have. It would have been a conversation at the pool or at the
Right.
bar. It would have just kept going. And you were like, no, we got to meet this week.
Yeah.
It was so cute. Our first meeting, this was pre even starting to record. He got us each notebook,
I
did.
each
I don't have
pins.
notebook anymore.
Yeah, we got pizza.
Got some wings, some drinks, and it was good.
Oh yeah, the wings. So like you've amazed me throughout this because you have stuck to it and you've held us accountable, and I think that goes to like kind of what I learned about myself, which is that like I think what I learned is even sometimes when you don't want to talk about it or you don't want to be vulnerable, or like your inclination would be kind of to clam up and handle things on your own, I've learned that like talking it out and trusting your friends with, listening to you and giving you good advice. Like I've gotten, like, I think our relationship has deepened and
Yes.
strengthened.
Yeah.
But also I feel like y'all helped me work through a lot of things. Right. So I think that I learned that like talking about things is better than not talking about things.
Yes, for sure.
Getting it out there. What I've learned from this podcast and doing this is, one, I've learned a lot about you guys, but about myself is I've learned that it's fun and better to work with people than by yourself. And the reason I say that is because a lot of the work I've done over the last years, I've worked in team environments and corporate jobs, but the last couple of years when I was freelancing, it was just me by myself. And I kind of became so self-reliant, and it's exhausting because you're doing everything from working, getting gigs, communicating, invoicing, all this stuff. But it's actually been fun to work on a project with friends and to not have any issues, because it's I've never worked on a project with friends outside of actual like work. So with friends, this is the first time I've done it, and it's actually been an enjoyable experience. And I like the accountability of, maybe somebody slipping on communication, Dom will step up here, we're recording, or maybe I'll say something, maybe Greg will say something, but I like the collaboration that it takes all of us to do. It's not just a one-man team.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Or even being like, oh, this is my idea, and both of y'all being kind of like, no, we should do this.
Right.
And just when you're working by yourself, you're the only person that's making these decisions, and sometimes they're not like the best ideas. So having people to actually like work with and learn to work with, I think, is important.
Yeah. So
Very.
For me, it's teamwork, working with a team and people and collaborating. That's what I've learned, that it's better when you do that. You can get a lot more done. But I want to say I'm, again, proud of Dom for even bringing the idea and then bringing it to life, because I've done that with a lot of things in my life for the last couple of years.
Same.
So it is fun to see, like Greg did it with his music. I'm sure at one point he's like, I want to record an album, and all of a sudden, maybe it took years, but you have an actual album on Spotify. SoundCloud. So the fact that this came from a pool conversation,
Dusty, but
it's there.
It's there.
It's there. It exists. You can always look and say, I did that.
right.
And like, I give Dom all the credit for making this happen, because had you not pushed it, it wouldn't have happened. So this is kind of cool. We got a full
Thanks,
season.
guys. I can't imagine doing this podcast with anybody else. I think we complement each other very well, and people enjoy our conversations and our interactions with each other.
They're all natural. They're real.
So yeah.
Oh, let me ask you a question. Did you ask anybody else to do a podcast? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I
One of the
had-
first
I-
like
when I listened
choices.
I had been thinking about doing a podcast for a very long time, just because I listened to so many, and I'm like, man, I could really, I don't know who would want to hear me talk about shit, but I would love to do a podcast. So I had like so many different ideas. Like I was like, maybe I should do one with my boyfriends. It should just be us two doing a podcast. And I remember
That'd be fire.
I remember talking to my friend Nancy, who's been on this podcast again. And I talked to her about it. I was like, maybe it would be cool to have a podcast where if it's like one straight person and one, gay person talking about different topics and giving our perspectives that way. So that was an idea I had. And then I just kind of thought about it, and I was like, I want to do something with people that I can relate with on, as far as like being gay and being a man, you know, and just like our experiences and similar age and like we've been around each other and interacted with each other for a long time, and I just thought that that would just like connect more, and people within our community would want to listen to it, that we know, and we would have a lot of topics that we could relate on. So that's why I brought it to you guys and got you guys' opinion on it, and you know, I just decided that's the route I wanted to go. Yeah.
I'm glad you did.
I think it's a
Thanks.
combination.
For sure.
Wow.
Did you have any question? I mean, me and Greg posed a question, but
I didn't think about a question. I guess with season 2, is there any specific changes that any of you guys would think about for season 2 that you might want to see on the podcast?
like on the just in general, or
In general.
In general.
Yeah,
right?
not self.
No.
Personal.
I'm sorry, not like personal, but like,
Yeah.
is there anything you think about you may want to change for season 2?
yeah, I mean, I definitely want to get the podcast more out there on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So just being more active and posting on Twitter or
I'll take over
TikTok
Twitter.
and
I know I'll say
Instagram and everything. I'm just, you know, that'll be interesting. That'd be cool.
Okay,
So
so
like,
Fuse getting it out there more.
like just promote.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing we didn't want to do when we started this podcast. We were just kind of like, we'll share it with people we
Yeah.
want to listen
Right.
to it.
I think it was a good idea just to get it out there, but we're not trying to like, hey, and because we're not ready for that yet.
Right. But now it's to a situation to where it's like, I'm okay with sharing it. I'm okay with getting our voices out there and, you know, having people listen to it. And we already have fans, you know, that listen to it and tell us all the time that they enjoy our podcast. So just more exposure.
Nice.
Agreed. For me, I think just like strong topics, you know, like diving deep, getting in there, maybe having a little bit more pre-planning. I think we like kind of fly by the seat of our pants, and I think that's served us. But like, what would happen if we actually like kind of planned the topics
Like
within
we
the
knew
topics?
going into it, so maybe some talking points. I think
Yeah.
that'd be good because I know a lot of podcasts do that. They have talking points about subjects that they want to cover, and it kind of helps you get mentally prepared. So I'm down for that too.
Yeah. And even like planning the season, we could be like, oh, season 4. I mean, that might be too planning ahead, but like I think episode to episode, we were like, what guests can we get? Like,
Yeah.
If we had a calendar and we were like, okay, this episode's
is
gonna be
when-
like this, like I think that'd be pretty cool.
guess
I
we
agree.
We can make a calendar and a Gmail account.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Share that.
That would be a great idea. Yeah, okay. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to us. Season 1 of Let Me Finish. We can't wait to come back and for you to hear our cool theme song we'll have and all kind of shit. that we're gonna
New
be doing.
artwork.
New artwork, you know.
Yeah.
I like the artwork.
I mean,
Okay. We'll talk about it. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot in store for you, and we just thank you for listening. And we've had a great time. And I love you guys.
See you in a month from now.
Yep. See you in September. We'll be back.
See ya.